Thank you very much. Uh, Mr. Pujari, colleagues on the dais, friends. We have today heard and will discuss over the next couple of days the kinds of challenges as well as the opportunities that smart grids provide to us. I want to thank REGI and the India Smart Grid Forum for the opportunity today, but more importantly, for making this a regular event in our calendar. I'd like to share 3 points with you. The first is that we believe that the next 10 years will determine whether in this country all new capacity addition will be based on renewables. This is even if all households are connected to the grid and have access to electricity 24/7. This is even if a large proportion of the new buses, the new cars, the new two-wheelers, the new three-wheelers that are added are electric vehicles. Obviously, what would happen by 2026 is that as the demand increases, so will the plant load factor of the coal power stations. We believe that by 2026 it will reach 80%. That means that it is then that we will start looking for new capacity addition. Now, during this period, we also believe that the price of renewable electricity will decline and decline rapidly. We've already seen rapid declines in the price of solar electricity. But as all of us know, solar electricity is available when the sun is shining. Wind is available when the wind is blowing. But what is interesting is that over the past 10 years, we have also seen relatively, not as fast as solar, but relatively fast declines in the price of storage. We have and will increase our pumped storage capacity. We will, or at least we have the potential of using the stranded gas assets to meet the peaking demands when the sun is not shining, when the wind is not blowing. But battery storage offers a new dimension. And if over the next 10 years, the price of storage, the price of electricity from batteries which is stored, together with the price of solar electricity, becomes less than $5 rupees a kilowatt hour or $70 a megawatt hour, we will face a situation in which firm renewable electricity, that is solar plus battery, that's firm renewables, would be equal to the price of electricity from coal at that time. This means that at that point of time, developers, investors, banks would start wondering whether new capacity addition that occurs, and there's a lot of new capacity addition which would still be needed, whether that new capacity addition would be based on coal or renewables. And it is my feeling that if this goal is achieved, the new addition would all be on the basis of solar plus battery. Now, if this happens, and it is a big if, it depends on price reductions in batteries particularly, it depends on whether the Uday program is successful in turning distribution companies into those which make economic best choice decisions. If this happens, then we will see a very different grid from the one that we see today. Obviously, the first is that the storage would become an essential part of the grid. And as the storage becomes an essential part of the grid, it obviously means that we have got one more source of electricity that is available. We will have the coal power stations, we'll have hydro, we'll have nuclear, we'll have solar, we'll have wind. We'll also have batteries, which can be drawn on as and when needed. But the second thing which is new is the need to charge those batteries. So, when those batteries are discharged, when there is additional electricity at a reasonably cheap rate which is available in the grid, an additional job of grid management will be to ensure that these batteries are charged, or pumped storage is used to take water up. This means that grid will be managed in terms of real-time withdrawals and storage. This will be a very different grid, because what we are saying is that we will need to meet the demand from all the sources that are available at a given time, and if needed also draw on storage. And when the demand is such that there is electricity available, then charge the batteries. This means that real-time matching becomes important. It also means that the concept that we have grown up with, that of base load, becomes a secondary grid management tool. I believe this presents challenges, but it also, with smart grid technologies that are coming up, it also presents an opportunity. We heard Mr. Banerjee talk of the last mile connectivity that is being done. We heard of how the issue of real-time matching is being carried out. What it tells us is that we will need to move to a system where through monitors, whether it is a SCADA, whether it is monitors which are at every home, we would need to know what the instant demand is and develop algorithms which can tell us the demand in the fraction of time ahead. Similarly, on the generation side, we already have these kinds of sensors, but again, particularly on solar and wind, we would need to have the capability to predict the fractional time ahead. What are we seeing? Are we seeing the beginning of a cloud? Are we seeing a trend for the last 10 seconds of a decline in the wind speeds, which help us therefore tell us what is available? This obviously helps real-time matching. Then we will, over a period of time, need to develop new prioritization criteria on what comes into the grid first, what comes into the second. And as I said, the new activity that grid management will need to do is, when do I charge my batteries? All of us are learning this together. There are different parts which are being done in different geographies, and as we move ahead, we are now, I believe, at least in this country, not more than 10 years away from a situation where large-scale application of this new philosophy of grid management based on real-time smart grids would become important. I would therefore like to leave you with these three messages. The first is the 10-year window that we have. The second is the new approach to grid management that we need. And the third is that the smart grid becomes essential for real-time matching. I again thank you all for this opportunity and thank the Indian Smart Grid Forum for bringing us all here today. Thank you very much.